all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol Baskin from Big Cat Rescue, and what a day! Oh my catness. If you've been with us all day, you know it has been amazing from start to finish. It started first thing this morning with a feeding tour of the big cats at Big Cat Rescue, and then it led to enrichment and seeing some of the things that are being done with the money that you guys have been donating all day at bigcatrescue.org/give day. And then we had a bobcat call come in right in the middle of that, and a lady had seen a bobcat. She thought he was all chewed up in the end, or rear end, and it turns out that he was suffering from mange, and that made it look like he had holes in his fur, which he did. And so we were not able to catch the bobcat. We have a video posted. All of these videos that I'm talking about are right here on Facebook, and you can check them out, go back and watch them over again, and enjoy all of the comments from everybody. But we weren't able to catch the bobcat. We went crawling through people's yards, as we typically do, and we left a trap with the lady that can humanely catch the cat if he'll go in there to eat. He looked really skinny. What happens is when these bobcats eat rats that have consumed poison, it compromises their immune system, and then they end up catching things like mange, which compromise their immune system, which makes it even worse on them, and then they end up with scabies and just all kinds of horrible things. And so if we can arrest this early and turn it around, it's very treatable. So I'm really happy about that. And then I'm here to give you an update on what you guys have accomplished today, because it has been awesome. This is from my "You Are a Badass" It's one of those daily things. You tear the paper off. Jamie gave me this for Christmas, I think. So as of about 4:30 p.m. today, we have raised $46,411 on salsa, and that includes the checks that we've received so far. If you mailed your check today, we haven't gotten it yet, but we will count it. And then we raised $10,515 on Facebook from all of you watching all of the Facebook Lives today and donating. So thank you for all of that. That was absolutely amazing. And we had a $50,000 match. So the first $50,000 was matched by this match, which gives us a total of $106,926. Thank you, everybody. And I'm sure a lot of people actually had to work today and weren't able to watch these all day long. So hopefully when they get home, they'll donate too, and we'll be able to raise a lot of money for the big cats. So I was going to give you an update of what's going on with the federal bill. Actually, Howie's going to do that. And I'm here in my home yard. And as you can see from these palm fronds on the ground, Howie is out here somewhere. So you get the crib tour, the Carol Baskin crib tour. When I first met Howie, I don't know if you can see it up there, I have these statues everywhere. And the first night he came out here, I'm like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile off the road, no lights back here, except for the lights that are on these statues. And he had to be wondering, like, what kind of person am I about to have a date with back here? There's my other Neptune back there in the trees. I can hear his tractor out in the field. We're on about 4 acres here, close to 5 acres. And this is where Big Cat Rescue actually started. When we started in 1992, we were living here at what we call the island. And the reason we call it that is because it's almost completely surrounded by water. Excuse me. As you can see right here, this is part of the canal that leads out that way to Rocky Creek, which then goes out to Tampa Bay. And then you can't see it here, but if you were to go right over that ridge and look straight down, that's Rocky Creek. So it's right here is like the most narrow part of the property. Howie loves to work in the yard, and he's had a lot of back trouble, as many of you might know. But something he really enjoys doing, and thankfully so, is taking care of all of the palm fronds out here. These sable palms are gorgeous, but they create a lot of that stuff that has to be trimmed and then hauled out to the street. Because it's been so dry, you don't really want to go burning. This field used to be nothing but grass, and we've been planting flowers and trees and palm trees and fruit trees, all kinds of stuff. I sure thought I heard him back here. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's going to be a long walk. All right. Well, while I'm walking, hey Valerie, hey Edith, Thank you for joining me. Those who watched Orpheus Bobcat, he's one of our recent rehab bobcats, and all of a sudden yesterday he stopped eating, and he had torn up a scratching post really badly, and we weren't sure if maybe he had eaten some of the pieces of it, because these wild bobcats, my goodness, they eat the windowsills right off the windows. And so Dr. Justin looked at him and can't find anything wrong. He's on some kind of meds currently because he came in with that neurological issue. So they're changing his meds up a little bit and see if maybe that'll help him with his appetite. Hey, Deb, thank you for thanking everybody. Being that I'm walking quickly to get back here to find Howie for our last report of the day. This will be our last Facebook Live. You're killing it. You're killing it. Well,
hey.
So I got 191 people here who,
wow.
Yeah.
Just to see me pick up palm fronds.
It's so a sight.
If you want to, I've got music here, I can missing you.
Is that what maybe you want to sit on your cart there and I'll get a report from you? His trusty steed.
Which has seen better days.
Yeah, well, at least it'll haul the palm fronds if it won't cut grass.
Oh, so you want to talk about the federal bill?
Yeah, what's happening with that?
Right. Well, listen, we're very excited about where we are right now. We have never been anywhere this close to getting the bill passed. We have 256 co-sponsors in the House. Importantly, it's very bipartisan with 52 Republicans. We've never had close to 52 Republicans before, and we have a dream team of lobbyists. We're working very closely with the lobbyist of the National Sheriff's Association, who is fantastic, and our own lobbyist that we've had for years, who we met because he was at the Republican convention that was here in 2012. He was the director of external relations. Now, you don't get that job without being pretty well connected in the party. So they're all doing a fantastic job and really pressing to get the bill to the floor for a vote. So we are actually very hopeful that we get through the House in the next month or so and then focus on the Senate. And we have some very good conversations going there in the Senate. So it's getting a federal bill passed is kind of a monumental task, but compared to wherever we have been in past sessions, we're like 10 times better off than we've ever been. And what's critical is just to keep up the grassroots effort. I just thank those of you who have called and kept calling, politely, not beating them up, but we see so many cases where we finally get somebody on board, or even if they don't co-sponsor, and there can be multiple reasons why they might not want to co-sponsor, but when it comes time for the vote, would vote yes. And when they've heard, and when Carol's been in DC, she's had offices tell her, we've had a lot of calls about this.
More calls than any place else or any other bill.
Yeah, so when it comes time for that vote, that causes them to be thinking, how many people am I going to piss off if I vote no on this?
And that actually happened last session. People voted no, and they were like, oh my gosh, I heard from everybody.
Yes, we've had some report that when they voted no last time, that they heard from people. So if you please continue to be persistent and politely call and ask for an update, and we're going to make this happen.
I love you. Can I give you a kiss?
You may. A little sweaty.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you, Howie. And I'm going to answer some questions as I go back up to the house so I can see the screen. Barely, because I'm looking right into the sun, obviously. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them on the way back up here. Thank you again, everybody who has been making the call of the wild, reaching out to your member of Congress. You can do that at bigcatact.com. Thank you, everybody who has made Give Day such an amazing success. despite the fact that it just went off the rails from the very get-go this morning. I can't believe that we ever try to plan anything because, yeah, as Jamie says, Big Cat Rescue laughs when we make plans. Thank you, Deb. Hey, Kay. Edith, it is great news, isn't it? Karen, yes, I adore that man. Absolutely adore him. And we're going to be at Taking Action for Animals in Washington, D.C. in July. Karen's going to be with us. She's going to be manning the table. And who else have we got going? Erin is going, and Bonnie. If you guys know Bonnie Farrago, she's coming. Hey, Susan and Cassie. Thank you for posting that link. Hey, Hector. I'm afraid King Tut has not managed to turn around. And so, unfortunately, it's his time to cross that rainbow bridge. And this is part of why I'm doing this last call for the day, because as you might imagine, Brittany was very, very close to him. And this has been a really hard day to try and have everybody keep up their spirits, knowing that we were going to have to make this very sad decision this afternoon when the vet came to see him. We had tried last week, if you followed us, to give him, actually when we all came together last week, we thought it was the end for him. And we decided there was one last thing that we might be able to try, a change in the medication that he was getting. And it did not help turn him around. He didn't want to eat. He gave up wanting to fight, and with there being nothing that we could do for him, we decided that that was the most humane thing to do. And it was really hard because everybody loved King Tut. He was such a enjoyable cat to be around, made you feel loved. Every time he walked up, he'd make biscuits, call your name, wanted a lot of attention, and loved his enrichment. But thank you, everybody who made his life something worth living. It's so hard for all of these cats to be living in cages. It's not where they belong, but we want to make their time here as enjoyable as possible, and you guys are the ones that make that possible. So thank you very, very much for doing that, and thank you for all of the help that you give us with all of the other cats as well. We just could not do this work without you. When I refer to Big Cat Rescuers, I am referring to every single one of you. So thank you for doing your part and helping us care for these amazing cats. Everybody, thank you for making Give Day such a huge success. I just can't thank you enough. You are absolutely the cat's pajamas. And when I look back over 30 years of doing this work, I never would have dreamed that I could have met so many amazing people that would join me in this fight to protect these big cats from the horrors of being held captive and to help save them in the wild. And you've guys made that possible, that we are getting this federal bill passed. We're going to do it, I think, in time to be able to save the tiger from extinction. If we don't do it this year, it's not going to happen, and we are going to lose the tiger in the wild. So thank you, everybody, for getting us this close to the finish line and for getting us across the finish line on Give Day. This is our biggest fundraising day of the year, and if you haven't given yet and you've even got a little bit to give, we really would appreciate it at bigcatrescue.org/giveday. Thank you, everybody. Mwah.